Give me. All right.
All
It's
right.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
What have you been up to lately?
Well, we only met about 3 days ago, so not too much since we met. We met
Okay.
on Thursday,
All
and
right.
yeah, so I've just, like you,
Yeah.
I meeting, coaching,
All right.
networking,
All right. All right. Good. So I'm gonna offer to do this as a free show.
Oh,
What I can do is tape this and then send it to my editor, have her put the front end back end on it. That way
great.
you can get some more publicity out there and I can also learn more about you. So
Sounds great.
tell me lots about you. Why did you get in this business? Where'd you grow up? What's your education level? How can you I think you can help me. I just have to figure out whether I can pay for it or not because
Yeah.
I tell people and it is true. I My total gross revenue for February was $89. So
That's a challenge. That's a challenge. Unless you're doing it for fun, that's a challenge.
well, I have fun doing it, but I'm not doing it for fun. I'm trying to fight inflation. I'm trying to get a little more income for groceries and medicine and stuff like that. And I've been in TV 23 years, so it's kind of what I already know.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So,
I came to business coaching. I was hired as a CEO of a real estate company many years ago,
huh. Okay.
and I had an amazing coach who said to me, "You need to know the numbers of your business." And I said, "I have a CFO." And she said, "That's great, but as the CEO of the company, numbers are the language of business. And so I want you to make it your focus that you know your numbers as well as your CFO."
Huh.
And she goes, "The other half of that is your opportunity is bonused on profit. So it might be a good idea that you know what the numbers are so that you can make decisions to help grow
Yeah.
that profit."
Very
So
nice. Okay.
I I did learn the numbers and I fell in love with the numbers, and I learned very quickly that the numbers of any business tell a story. And yet when I
Okay.
spoke to other business owners, they all said, "Well, I have an accountant." And I'm like, "Great. Well, what was your net profit margin last year?" "Oh, my accountant does that." I'm like, "You do know that if you know that number and you're familiar with how your business runs, that there's decisions you can make that will be negative and decrease your profit, but there's also decisions you can make that could increase your profit." And most business owners just don't know that, right? They're good at
Yeah.
their craft. They're good at what they do. They're not
Right.
so good at knowing the drivers of the business. So
Okay.
I realized not only did I fall in love with the numbers that most business owners have not, and I
Oh,
realized I had a skill in helping them fall in love with the numbers. And then
okay.
when I help them fall in love with the numbers, I help them increase their profit, and then they love me and want to pay me. So, you
Good
know,
for you. Very nice.
it was
Very
a it
cool.
was a win-win. And
Very
so
nice.
I have just kind of then when the pandemic came, I had still been working not really as the primary CEO of organization, but kind of fractionally. I was coming in and helping organizations with varieties of difficulties they were facing.
Right.
Pandemic came and I said, I think I want to do this full time. I want to
Oh,
devote all my time and energy
and
to
so
helping
that was how many
people.
years ago, do you think?
Well, the pandemic. So technically, my business has been open for 4 years, but I've been coaching for, 15.
Ever, forever.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you charge, if I can ask?
You're sure. So it depends on the scope where I'm involved with the company. So I would say my ideal client probably has 1 million in revenue
Oh,
and is
okay.
struggling to really grow. Now I work with businesses that have less than 1 million, But I just find if I met with 10 businesses that had 1 million in revenue, I'm probably bringing on 5 clients. If I meet with 10 businesses with less than 1 million, I'm probably only bringing on 2 clients, right? It just has
Yeah.
to do with their ability to hire a coach.
Okay.
So in that sweet spot of 1 million, usually my fee is around 2,000 a month.
And you're
And what I
saying growth?
found
Okay.
is in 30 days, I usually can find the business more than $24,000 in profit. So my
Ah,
fee is usually covered in the first 30 days, right? So I've already paid for my services in the first 30 days.
well, that's
Um,
good. And when you say 1 million, you're saying in gross revenue or
in
what?
gross revenue, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Oh,
So, but I work with businesses on a lesser scale. Like, for instance, somebody who really wants to work with me doesn't have the resources. I have a number of other opportunities. I have a self-guided program with
hmm.
videos and workbooks that basically do what I do in real life, but it's self-guided. So they can do that at about 300 a month.
Hmm.
There's no additional support, but it does address all the topics that I coach live, right? And it's like
Yeah.
a 12-month sort of membership thing. They get a weekly video and a workbook, and they
Hmm.
work through all the principles that I work through in
Wow.
real life, but it's self-guided.
Okay. Okay.
And
So,
then big companies that might have more than that, might have 5 million in revenue.
right.
My fees then slide upwards because they usually require additional support, like helping them hire the right managers and helping them create SOPs and things like that, right? Systemizing their business, train their sales force.
Okay.
So those fees scale up on the larger size companies.
All right. Well, that's good. And before I forget to remind you, and I like gritty gritty videos, so I put in all the stuff that you normally would take out if it was a professional. 'Cause I think gritty stuff gets watched more from people, but when we're done with the show, send me the following things in an email.
Okay.
I know to wait for you to get a pen.
I'm ready. I got
You
a
still
pen.
have a pen, boy. That's wow. I didn't even know they made. Hey, ha ha ha. You and me both. Here I
I
am. Yeah,
transfer everything to digital
that's what
after.
that's what I do exactly. So send me what you want the title of the show to be.
Okay.
I would like it to be the title you give, and I'd like there to be enough room for me to say with Coach Debbie or
Okay.
whatever. And then send me three lines of contact information, such as your name, your email, your phone, or your name, your email, your website, or something. 3 lines. And we'll put those under your picture on the show and run it throughout the show, or at least part of the time. It depends on which editor I send this to, because I've got
Yeah.
one lady, God bless her, she's been with me a long time, but she lately has taken her longer to do shows than it used to.
Yeah.
She's got a show I taped a couple weeks ago, and she hasn't even gotten back to me to say well, I better not say this because she may be editing this and she'll see it and go, what?
Right.
Anyway, tell me about yourself as a person. You have a husband and 15 kids or what?
I have a recently divorced husband,
Okay.
mutual decision, um,
Right.
2 kids. We came to the end of the road, and
Yeah,
it's
no,
as
I've
simple as
I've
that.
been there. I've been there, honest to God. Yeah, okay.
And then I have an adult daughter living in California, in Los Angeles. She works for a big video game company.
Oh,
And
good. Okay.
and my son is out in Portland, Oregon, which is where I'm heading.
Oh
And
yeah.
and he's an artist that's supporting his art with jobs.
Now
So
by saying an artist, he could be any of 12 or 15 things. He's a painter, he's a sculptor,
he's a
he's
sculptor. He's a
a
sculptor.
sculptor. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to invite you to have him get in touch with me. And we do two shows. We do a paid business show like this one we're doing now,
Mm-hmm.
and we do a free show for nonprofits and artists. And I've been in television 23 years, so we've been doing that free show for since about 2000, 2001. And I certainly would like to have him on, and it's a way that I can hopefully serve you further.
Yeah.
With my small business, like I said, my February gross revenue was $89. Is there anything? And I'm neurodivergent, by the way, and I have mental illness. I like to be an advocate for those things by declaring it.
My son is as well neurodivergent and
Yeah,
has some mental health issues.
yeah, I've
So I
got
love that.
okay. And so, is there anything you can tell me? And I can tell you more about my business, but is there anything you can tell me to help me with my business? I really have a hard time doing it. I wouldn't do a business if it wasn't for the fact that I need to be able to buy groceries and I need to be able to buy my medicine, you know.
Yeah.
So anything you can tell me that would help.
So I would have questions to start. I'm sure there is. So the first question is, what sort of offer are you making and who are you making it to?
Okay. I've been working with people from Alignable like yourself. We used to charge a ridiculously low amount, which I'm not even gonna verbalize here on this show in case somebody else sees it. Then we went to $4.99 on the advice of someone from Alignable. And then on the advice of someone else from Alignable, we went to $9.99. I have not yet, I shouldn't say this, but like I say, I'm organic. I have not yet sold a show at either one of those levels.
So
Um,
what's the benefit to the participant? What do they get from the show that they didn't get before?
well, my perception of it is that their benefit is quite substantial because I'm I'm embarrassed to say I'm somewhat well known on the internet. So when they do an interview with me, they become a thought leader in their field. And that's something unique to the better known shows, like NBC, ABC, etc. So when someone chooses to buy that type of product, they're much more likely to buy from them than they are from someone else who is a competitor
Yeah.
because they've become a thought leader in their field.
So
So
then the question becomes, because I do have also a background in marketing, right? The question becomes, because that's a little bit not tangible, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
people want to write checks for things that they can touch. So do you have any stories or testimonials from past participants that
I
have
do
said, well, like, yeah,
I do. And the downside here that I want to make sure and say is that our YouTube clicks are very small. And
right,
I've priced a bunch of SEO people at Alignable, and they're all, 5,000 a month and
yeah.
3,000 a month and all that. So I can't afford any of that stuff. And it's hard for me to learn. So I don't plan on learning what SEO even is and let alone how to do it. But the thing I do like is that, like, I've been marketing to realtors a lot in the last few months. And one of the real estate ladies did tell me that she got a client from my show.
Okay.
And it's only one so far, but she really did. So that's pretty cool, you know. And the other thing that I haven't said yet is included in their package is the fact that I give them the MP4 from the show, the raw one, plus the show one. So they get both of those that they can use themselves in any way they want.
Mhm.
And we post the show on social media for them 20 to 25 times. So we post it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Tumblr, Mix, TikTok, all kinds of places like that.
Mhm.
And that I feel like really helps them, even though it is true that we don't see a lot of high click numbers in YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I put it on YouTube first and then I broadcast it out of YouTube.
Right. Right.
So whatever.
So if you've had success, and what I like about hearing about the real estate is, for someone that has a low ticket offer, to pay
So
999 when I have a high ticket offer, right? It's technically $24,000 a year. So
yeah,
one
and
client,
I try to market to people who have high ticket offers themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I like that you have a testimonial about from the realtor, because they also are high ticket, right? They sell one client
Right.
and they make $10,000 at least.
Right. Easily. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so the suggestions I would have to you would be to, keep targeting the high ticket offer people,
Okay.
realtors, coaches.
Okay.
Um, and yet at the same time, I feel like you need some more evidence to be able to successfully sell your show. I just hopped on YouTube real quick, and you have 114 subscribers. So even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
you're posting on social media, that's great, but that's passive, right? So it's not like, hey, I can broadcast you to 10,000 people, I can broadcast you to 100,000 people. The perception of value becomes greater when you have that evidence, right? So you have one person, so that's good. So I would
Okay.
continue to market to those high ticket offer people, and continue to make the offers. Your income is directly related to the number of conversations you can have with your ideal client every day. So the more people, the more realtors you can talk to, the more coaches you can talk to, the better chance you have at meeting with somebody that would find value in your ability to syndicate. At the moment, the YouTube channel doesn't have enough value, but the fact that you syndicate to all those people, so that when you go on these different platforms, are you tagging the person, like, in other words, so I'm on all those platforms too.
Right. But not every it turned out, especially on Facebook, that they have to be my friend for me to be able to tag them.
Tag them. Yeah.
So it's another thing they have to do it to make me a friend on their other platforms. And usually when if they do it at all, usually I just say make me a friend on Facebook and you'll be able to see that I'm posting because, and it was something I was going to say but I forgot. Because um I send them a screenshot of the posting that I do. Like we do, like I say, we do 20 to 25. We
Mm-hmm.
do them in groups of 6. So I'll sit down one day and I'll do 6 posts for them, one each on 6 different platforms. And of those 6, I will take one screenshot and email it to them as proof
Yeah.
that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I usually suggest, well, make me a friend on Facebook and then I can tag you on Facebook. And that's more doable for them than having them make me a friend on every platform.
Well, and so here's a way to leverage that. Draw up a Word document with where you include the URL for your Facebook, right? In other words,
Okay.
in other words, you send me a document that says, hey, Debbie, when we get ready to publish on all these platforms, it is a benefit to you that we're already connected, but you shouldn't go out and connect. Make me connect with you. It would be a benefit to you and your business for you to friend us on all these platforms. Here's where you find me on TikTok. Here's where you find me on YouTube. Here's where you find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. And if I'm on those platforms, my responsibility is to go and connect with you in all those places so that once you
Okay.
do post it, but put it in my lap. Don't you say,
Okay.
what's your
Okay.
handle? Let me find you everywhere.
Okay.
Make me go do it.
Okay, now
And then,
I have a question before I forget. One of the people I talked to in Alignable said for me to begin to emphasize to the potential client that when I post for them on, say, Facebook, to remind them that I have, because I'm posting on my own account, remind them that I have like 780 followers on Facebook, or I have 2,500 on LinkedIn, because those are my own active people.
so on that Word document, you can
Yeah.
also include your subscriber numbers. So, right. So you send me this
Okay.
Word document that says, Debbie, here's where you find me on all these different platforms. And the benefit to you, like right in the Word document in the first paragraph, the benefit to you is that not only do we connect, but when we're friends, all of my friends then see the value you provide. And on Facebook, here's my URL, and this is how many subscribers I have. Here's my LinkedIn. Here's how many subscribers. So
But
then
you
you're
wouldn't put that
reminding.
you wouldn't put that in the initial sales letter. You'd put it in the follow-up after they buy.
Well, it could be in the sales letter, but at some point, if you're trying to entice me to want to buy, so we're having this call, and so after this call, you could say, Deb, I'm going to send you a follow-up. Maybe I've decided to move forward, maybe I haven't. But even for just putting out this show, I should be friends with you in all these places. So I think there's multiple opportunities where you could share that information, right?
Okay,
It,
so
it
more
could
than
be
one
with a
place.
potential
Okay.
client. It
Okay.
could be with an existing
Yeah, yeah,
client. It
yeah.
could be in the
Well, and
sales.
I thought the way I do it, because the sales letter I've written a long time ago and it seems to work okay, is put the total. I thought I would put the total in the sales letter, the total of all six. And then when I do the follow-up, I'll do the breakdown.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah,
sound
yeah,
like it'll
yeah,
work?
yeah.
All right,
But
I
in
just have
there,
to.
include all the URLs for your social
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
then you make it my responsibility to connect with you all those places,
Right.
right?
Now, the other thing I want to ask is I do six for the price that they pay. I include those six websites and I do them maybe 5 times so they get like 30 instead of only 25.
Right.
And those six are, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Mix, Pinterest, and Tumblr. Then I would like to be able to say, if you want me to put you on other sites, such as TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, there is an additional charge. What do you think of that idea yourself, Coach Debbie?
So that's interesting. If the purchaser also gets the MP4s,
Yes, they do. I mean,
then,
if they want them, they don't always even want them, which to me is very
but
strange because it's value.
here's my perspective. So I have my own TikTok. If I have the MP4s, I can post it. I can separate out and I can use that as a resource. And so that's lovely that you're making that offer, but it's not necessary. The only benefit to me that it's posted on your site is that your followers get exposed to me. But my perspective is, I've got, 500 on my YouTube. So putting it on your YouTube is great, but it's more beneficial that I put it on my YouTube because I've got followers, right? I get more bang for the buck
So
by
why don't they
niching.
do that? Why don't more of them do that when I offer it?
Why don't more of, I would not buy the upsell because I'm going to put it myself
That's
on my
fine.
platform.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, the MP4s are part of the original package, but
Yeah.
most of them don't bother to ask for that. And when I offer it, they don't necessarily want it. I can't figure out why.
Um, because they don't understand the value of SEO. They're not using video much in their own business. I find that 90% of realtors don't use video.
Yeah.
90% of coaches don't use video. Well, if you're not already using it, like I've got, 300 followers on TikTok, 5,000 followers personally on Facebook, 5,000 followers on LinkedIn personally, 500 followers on YouTube. I don't know about Pinterest, but
Yeah.
so I'm already actively using video to connect with my audience. So I see the value of doing that.
Okay.
If they don't see the value, number one, that's why they don't buy your package because they're not already doing it. So they don't see the value in it. That's not
So how can
your
I
fault.
fix that though?
You have to communicate the value to them in using video.
All
Are you
right.
using video in your
Yeah.
platforms?
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
Why aren't
Yeah.
you? Video is shown
Yeah.
to be.
Well, and it seemed, I've been in video so long and I see so much video that I can't understand why anybody in their right mind in 2024 isn't cranking out a ton of video. I just
Because
don't.
they don't like the way they look, they don't know what to say, they get nervous, and so they don't use it as a tool. I work with small business owners. Part of my offer is to do I call it a podcast, you call it a TV, I call it a show.
Yeah, same thing.
I
Yeah, yeah.
do the way when I say small business owners, I'm kind of talking about like brick and mortar geographic small businesses in a town, right? I'll work with coaches, I'll work with digital people, but the majority of my clients have real brick and mortar businesses, right? And so I'll say this is part of the way I earn clients. I generate clients as I say, "Hey, I do a video podcast. What sort of video are you using on your website or in your social media?" The answer is, oh, I'm not really using video because most
God.
business owners are working 60 hours a week
Yeah.
in their business and they don't know how to start incorporating video. And I'm like,
But
oh my gosh, I have a video podcast. Here's everybody. Here's all my subscribers. Here's how I'm blah, blah, blah. I don't pitch them on, do you want a business coach? I say, hey, let me help you create some video. I'll share all the content. I edit it and then I share it with them. And then you can put it on your Facebook. You can talk about it on your social media. They go, oh my God, that's great. And then I say, tell me about your profit. We're listen,
so you do that as a free lead in, a loss leader.
it's a loss leader. By the way, I get video content for all my platforms.
Yeah, but that loss leader, that thing you're using as a loss leader is my end product. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to reframe that. I'm getting information from you and I'm gonna
Yeah.
rewatch
I
this.
actually, here's what I believe your business is. I believe you're in the wrong business.
Okay.
You should be in the business of teaching people how to do video, not
Really,
the tech.
but we know they're not going to do it anyway.
That's because they don't know how.
All right. Well, there's no problem in adding what I would do instead of doing that instead. Is
Because here's what I
I would
believe.
add it as a service.
There's a million people out there willing to do a video podcast with realtors and things like that. And everybody understands the benefit of that. Doesn't
Right.
even matter if you don't have a lot of followers. It's the fact that, they get interviewed. It's easy for them to be interviewed and videoed instead of them standing in front of the camera and trying to create their own. And then your ability to then share that with them, but also promise to publish it. But I think your value proposition, because you've been in TV for so long, is helping that agent that got a client, is helping them say, hey, are you using video? No. Well, that's what I do. For $1,000, we can work together for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and I'll help you, coach you through creating some video content, because I know exactly how to do that. I can do it in my sleep.
All right.
Now, the skill
Yeah.
you're offering is
Sure.
something that they don't know how to do. That seems like a no-brainer to you and me. I've been banging the video drum for 20 years. 20
Yeah,
years.
yeah. Well, me too, obviously, right? So yeah. Okay.
But they don't know how to do it, and then they don't know what do I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. We'll get there. You can get there. Yeah, those are all answerable. So let's wrap because I don't know how long this is, and
yeah, cool.
I want to at least keep it under 30 minutes so that we can get it on all these platforms.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do the sign off. I didn't do a sign on like I'm supposed to, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mark Isaac Potter Presents. We've been visiting today with Coach Debbie, and she is quite wonderful. And we're not going to hold it against her that she lives in Florida because she's moving to the West Coast. And we're hoping to have her son, the sculptor, on the show.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we'll talk to you next time. Thank you, Debbie. God bless you, honey. I'm gonna push the end recording button here.
Yeah.